Hey guys, last week I got a request from some Wavestate owners who asked me, hey, could you make maybe a short tutorial for creating real simple analog synth sounds like a Toto brass sound or a simple pad without using any of these wave sequences? And I thought, sure, there's nothing simpler than that, because the architecture of the Wavestate is almost built like a regular analog synth. But let's have a look first at a very old analog synth from the end 70s, begin 80s. Look, we have an oscillator section, we have two of them with the different waveforms right here. We have a filter section with cutoff frequency, the envelope intensity and the resonance. We have two envelope generators, one for the filter, one for the amp. We have an LFO for the vibrato things. We have a pitch bend modulation wheel. And if we now switch back to the Wavestate, you will find very similar things. I make this comparison because once you understand the workflow and the signal flow, programming your own sounds will be even more easier. We have a filter section, an envelope section for filter, amp, pitch. We have our, let's say, 4 oscillators, which are of course our layers here in this case. We have an LFO for the vibrato, we have a pitch bend modulation wheel. Okay, let's create our brass sound. The first thing we want to do is we press performance and scroll completely to the top, and we select initialize performance. Press enter. And look, now I press shift and the right arrow, and now we are in the screen where we can change the waveforms. Look, I scroll to the top and I change wave sequence to single multisample. I press enter and look, now the waveform screen pops open. The cool thing is now you can choose the categories by just pressing these buttons here. And I choose synth and bass and scroll down till it says wave. Oh. And then we might want to look for sawtooth waves, because these are just great for creating brass sounds. Look, now I decrease the cutoff frequency. I pull open the envelope intensity. Make the attack a bit shorter. Adjust a little bit the cutoff and the intensity of the envelope. And you can already hear it's quite close. Let's add a bit of reverb, just for the fun of it. Yeah, it's quite good. I add a tiny bit of resonance. Make it a bit sharper. Yeah, I quite like it. If you like my videos, hit subscribe and the notification button, because that definitely will help me to produce a lot more of this content. By the way, if you are interested in more Wavestate sounds, I made a complete sound set called The Sounds of the Trevor Horn Era. I will put the link in the description of this video, and it contains sounds of 7 world famous productions made by him and also productions from that time. What I'm doing now is copying the layer A to the layer B, because I want to give it a slight chorus effect. But I will do this with the editor program, because I didn't find the function in the Wavestate itself until now. So let me copy that quickly to the layer B, paste it, then I will look for a slight different waveform in layer B. So I choose a different sawtooth sound. Yeah, let's take this one. And now I'm gonna detune the two layers a tiny little bit against each other. That you get this kind of chorus sounding thing. And then I'm panning the two layers, also quite extreme, one to the left, one to the right. So what we can do now is control the cutoff frequency of both layers with just one knob. To do that, I go to the mod section, I press mod and the right arrow, and now I have to move the cutoff knob a tiny bit, just that he knows the parameter. And now I have to move the shape knob. That's the destination, the controller destination. And look, now I have to just increase the intensity of this modulation source. And the same I do for the next layer. Add a modulation. I move the cutoff knob at the shape knob, press enter, and increase the intensity of the modulation. Listen, now I can just control the two layers, which is really great. Now we can save the sound. Let me just do it quickly with the editor, that's a bit easier. Description. And ready. You see, you can handle the wave state just as a regular analog synth, even without the use of wave sequences at all. That way you could, for example, build your own sound banks and have them handy at studio sessions, live gigs, at home, wherever you need them. Guys, I hope you liked the video, and if you have questions, just put them below in the comment section, and I see you in my next video.